Oh, man. It's here. The Switch 2 Direct is finally here. What up? Hello to all my beautiful people out there. Y'all, I can't even begin to explain and express what I'm feeling from this Switch 2 Direct. I mean, unlike the last Direct that we watched, I came in with a lot of expectations. Obviously, new tech, bigger hardware, like all this kind of stuff, right? But they have exceeded my expectations, like so far. They essentially brought everything that I was hoping for with this Direct, and even way more. Like, more than I could have ever imagined, and it was honestly kind of overwhelming. But of course, you know, before we dive into that, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel a lot. And you know, once you're done with this video, comment down below what you thought of the Direct and what you're excited to play. Okay, let's go. So first we immediately get Mario Kart World. And I think we all knew that a Mario Kart game was coming with the first teaser that they showed with the Switch 2, but a free roam Mario Kart game? Definitely not something that I was expecting. I mean, it makes sense as they seem like they're on a common trend to make a lot of their IPs just free roam, but we'll talk about that later. Y'all, not only does this game look stunning, but they've added rail drifts, wall riding, and bouncing or whatever. You can drive as a freaking cow. Not even that, like, you can drive as more. Like, one thing that I noticed was Pokey. Like, what? We saw Birdo go into a truck and start driving it. Mario ate a burger and changed outfits, and so did like a bunch of other characters. We get jet skis, snowmobiles, weather changing. Like, it was way too much. I think it's just a lot of information and everything that we need more answers to. And luckily, they have another Direct in what, 2 weeks or something? April 17th? There's just too much. I just can't keep up. Overall, I think the gameplay itself looks very similar with like the cups and everything, the items and all of that. But you know, now you're driving around the world, hence the name. They're also introducing a new Knockout Tour, which is a Mario Kart Battle Royale. Actually looks really fun, super interesting and everything. And I mean, not to mention the free roam. The free roam just looks crazy, and actually it kind of looks peaceful. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it looks like one where you could just get in, drive, no brain, just do whatever you want, you know? So enough about Mario Kart World, because I'm sure you've heard enough about it. We can actually go into the Switch 2 console itself, because there's a lot to discuss. First, we finally got to see what the C button is for, since they teased that right before, which it's actually used for a game chat system. I actually think this concept is super cool, like just having a Discord function on your Switch. You know, obviously some of us are fortunate enough to have game capture systems like this, where we can stream on our computer to friends on Discord, but you know, not everyone gets to. I mean, this to me just seems more like a personal chat with friends. It just seems like Discord, but you know, just on your Nintendo Switch. And you don't have to rely on the Nintendo Switch app, which I never even used. I just went and used Discord. But it seems, you know, you can also get a camera to see each other, which plugs in through USB-C. Granted, I definitely see how some people can probably find this as like cheesy or like an easy money grab in some aspects, but I've had my fair share of cam nights with friends, and it's all been super fun and super peaceful and everything. So I'm excited to see who actually uses this for the Switch. Granted, I probably won't. I'm not gonna lie. And with the camera, they actually have an added feature to put yourself into the games themselves. I would say the only downside for this is probably the screen share. And don't get me wrong, it's a really cool idea and I really like it on Discord, but just look at it. Like, Nintendo really thought this looks good enough to put in a Direct. Are they really trying to advertise this laggy screen? I mean, as if Nintendo's online service doesn't already have a lot of lagging issues. But with all of that out of the way, the Nintendo Switch 2 finally has a mic. This is so dope. And I know it's used for chat, but it also opens up a lot of opportunities for games. For instance, I brought up Nintendogs. I think it'll be really cool to have a Nintendogs game on Switch that you can actually talk to your dog. The noise filtering is also pretty interesting to me. I actually wonder how well that will work. And we also got to see Switch 2 game share, multiplayer, which this actually did get me excited, especially because it seems like if one person is playing a multiplayer game that, you know, requires a bunch of different screens, you can just connect them with not only Switch 2s, but older Switch models as well, and just play with friends or family. I mean, they even showed a party chat of friends playing Mario 3D World together, and if that's using Game Share, that's insane. But now, what we've all been waiting for, the hardware. The Switch 2 is sitting at a solid 7.9 inches, same, compared to the 6.2 inches that was originally on the Switch 1 while sitting at the same thickness. But hey, we now get to enjoy our Switch games at a solid 1080p and 120 FPS, which is wild. Now, I was like many of you who was upset that we didn't get an OLED screen. But honestly, the more I look into this, their HDR LCD screen that they showed actually looks phenomenal. Like, I don't mind it. The colors look amazing, and honestly, I'm just happy that we're getting smoother gameplay in general. Now, instead of the little clicky slide thing on the Switch 1, the Joy-Cons connect magnetically for the Switch 2. It was actually kind of interesting to hear that these connect using the SR and SL buttons, which are now made of steel, but it just overall seems like it'll be sturdier to deal with. And thank the Lord that they increased the sizes of the SR and the SL buttons, because even with my tiny fingers, it was so hard to press those buttons. And actually with the Switch 1, there were a lot of moments where I would be playing handheld and the Joy-Con would just slip out. And so I feel like with the magnetics, it will probably make things better. We also have a bigger joystick. That's really all I have to say about it. It big. And now the mouse control. Oh man, I was excited to see what they basically pull with this. Now I'm actually wondering how it'd feel using it, because, you know, obviously a mouse has wider features and this one's just the same thickness as your regular Joy-Cons. But overall, I think everyone was really excited to hear about the mouse controls. It looks cool, it looks insane, and I'm excited to use them in games. The Switch 2 also has better speakers, which, you know, I also kind of expected that. They also showed some surround sound when you wear headphones while playing on it, which actually encourages me to try using headphones while I play, because I don't. And there's the mic, again, which I'm super excited to see, and I see a lot of potential with different games, like bringing back old janky Mario Party games that we used to play on the DS. Now, I actually play a lot of my games on the Switch handheld using the stand, so seeing this new one had me so excited. It's essentially just the same as the OLED, but it's not as bulky. Along with that, they added a USB-C port at the top of the Switch, so when you do play it with the stand, you can charge it while you play. Thank you, Nintendo. Like, I can't even express how happy I am to see this. Now, we also went from 32 gigs of storage to 256, 8 times more than the original Switch. The dock also looks super sleek and cool, and it has 4K support, which is insane. Like I'm telling y'all, Nintendo came prepared to knock all of our socks off. Like, the 4K support is just such big news that I can't even comprehend it. I mean, with that, there's also TV resolution options. So you can go from 1080p HD to 260p 4K if your TV can handle it, which is wild as well. And hey, I mean, they're bringing a fan to cool your Switch while you dock it, which is also really cool. Okay, on to the first thing that worried me with this Direct, the welcome tour, which is essentially like some kind of application tech demo type deal. Essentially, it just takes you inside of the Switch. You can see a lot of information on the hardware and actually a lot of cool activities where you can like test out the mouse gyro functions and everything. Now, this seems really cool, right? However, with an application like this, I feel like you gotta make it free. I mean, look at when the Wii came out and we got Wii Sports with the Wii for free, which Reggie had to fight for, so thank you, Reggie. And this doesn't even seem like a full game. It just seems like, hey, learn about our console and just test out its features, yet we have to pay for that? Honestly, at most I'd pay maybe like $5-10 for it. Even if it's higher than that, they're not taking my money away from me. Now, if you do want additional storage, much like the original Switch, this time you'll have to use a micro SD express card. Please do not get the regular ones that you would usually get for your Switch 1. Those will not work for the Switch 2. It has to be an express card. I'm assuming it's because of the new hardware updates and upgrades and all that stuff that it needs the express cards. And granted, they're expensive, but alas, it's Nintendo. Oh, and also system transfers are the same as the Switch 1. They also announced a new Pro controller, which looks super sleek, looks super clean. I don't use these, to be honest, but I can see see others being really excited for it. And they also have 2 new programmable buttons, which seems really cool. It seems like a lot of modern controllers are doing that nowadays. And you can get all of this on June 5th. They gave us basically 3 months to prep our bank accounts to spend on all of this hardware. Now we can go on to the Switch 2 edition games. These came as a surprise to me in 2 different ways. The first one was I thought they would just be upgrades in graphics and such, but it seems like they're actually adding gameplay and content. Like for instance, in Mario Party, you get new games involving the mouse and the gyro system with that, and new game modes like a freaking roller coaster. And Kirby is getting a fully new expansion. I take back what I said. Yeah, this is worth it. Pause, please. Is that a Kirby Forgotten Land DLC? The gods have answered my prayers. Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are also getting new additions. I think these are essentially just graphic upgrades, but like those games are already expansive enough. It's perfect. But they did showcase Zelda notes, which showed a plethora of different features, including a map. You can Google Maps yourself to a shrine or a Korok task in Tears of the Kingdom now. That's insane. You can also send or import designs that either you or other people have created in Tears of the Kingdom, which I think is so cool. It's like the Animal Crossing design patterns and everything. Okay, and the next 2 are going to be talking about specifically graphical updates, but I just need to bring them out. First, Metroid Prime Beyond. If you recall in my last video, I theorized that the gameplay that they were showing with Metroid Prime Beyond was from a Switch 2 because it looked so good. Well, I was so unbelievably wrong because can you just see how amazing this looks? Like, I thought last week's was good, but this looks leagues above what was shown. Everything just looks so clean. You can use the mouse function to aim, like, it looks so great. And you can either play in 4K 60 FPS or 1080p 120 FPS HDR in docked mode. Of course, handheld will have a lower 1080p 60 FPS or 720p 120 FPS, but you know, it's still an upgrade. And again, I'm just speechless as to how good this game looks. I will be copying day 1. Then the next was Pokemon Legends ZA, and I'm not gonna lie, I thought already from last week that this game looked all right in terms of graphics. Like, it wasn't the best, but it definitely wasn't the worst. However, this trailer showed just how beautiful this game can look on the Switch 2. I genuinely just couldn't believe my eyes. A new Pokemon game could look as gorgeous as this does. I mean, just look at those windows. No, but for real, the game itself looks amazing. Granted, the mountains still don't look like too great in the background, but like, are we really looking at those? We're looking at the Pokemon, let's be honest. Okay, and the second thing that actually did shock me about these are the upgrade packs. Low-key, I was expecting them to be like, oh, Kirby's getting a new expansion for the Nintendo Switch 2 edition, buy the full game for $70 again. But they've actually graced us with upgrade packs if we already own it for the Switch 1. Now, granted, we don't know how much these will be, and they never mention that. Now that I say that, I actually realize that they didn't mention prices for literally anything on the Switch 2, which probably for good reason, as you can probably see that the population is not really happy with a lot of their decisions for pricing, but we'll get into that in a different video. Now, I'm assuming these upgrade packs will probably go for around $20, but I don't know if I'm overshooting or if that's just cope. Okay, so the first full game that they actually showed us with the mouse features is called Drag X Drive. I think it's pronounced Dragon Drive, but I don't know. But this game immediately had me thinking of the manga Reel, if you've ever read that. I think this game definitely looks pretty cool. To me, it seems like what ARMS was for the Switch 1, essentially just showing off like the new features of the Joy-Cons while also doing it in style. Now, does the gameplay look interesting? It seems like something I'd probably do for like a couple of hours, then I drop it because my ADD just can't stick to commitment. I mean, it looks a bit clunky, but it does look fun. I definitely don't mind trying it for a little bit, but that's about it. And they showcased so many publisher games during this direct. Again, it was overwhelming considering back in 2017, we literally basically got Breath of the Wild released on the same day of the Switch. I mean, could it have been because Nintendo was coming from a failed console? Maybe, but it's just super cool to see that so many different publishers are now coming in and showing faith in this new Switch enough to release all of these, like either on the day of the release of Switch or just later on in general. And now, I know there have been a lot of jokes about people saying games like Elden Ring could never come to the Switch. And if you had told me 3 years ago that it would be coming to the Switch, I would have laughed at you. But when I heard the music, the narration, and I saw the amazing world landscape, I wanted to scream. It really took Elden Ring to have everything settle in that the Switch 2 will showcase stronger and better hardware. Granted, I mean, I can't even beat an Elden Ring boss on PC, so like, I don't even think I'll be able to beat it on a Switch, no less. But regardless, I'm still excited to take it on the go. And when I saw Supergiant, I thought of Hades 2, basically just one of the biggest games that I'm excited to get on Switch. I loved Hades. I'm sure this new entry is gonna be cool. Next, when I saw Capcom, I actually joked about seeing Street Fighter 6. I'll show right here. Capcom? Street Fighter? I was kidding. I did. Oh my god, they're freaking Street Fighter 6. Genuinely, it caught me off guard so much. Like, I was shook. I'm also not entirely sure how the controls will work for this or even how it'll perform, but I feel like if it can run Elden Ring, it probably won't struggle running Street Fighter 6. But with Street Fighter 6's new, simpler control options, I feel like it might be a good entry point with the game on the new Switch 2, or Nintendo releases a fight stick. That could be cool. Along with that, we get Street Fighter amiibos and what I'm assuming is amiibo cards. Was not expecting that, and I don't even know what they're used for, but the consumer in me is screaming to get them. It was no surprise to see Split Fiction. I mean, It Takes Two came to the Switch, and it's literally perfect for it. I still haven't played this though, so I didn't focus too hard since I don't want spoilers, but Joseph, I love you. Hogwarts Legacy was really cool to see here too. I mean, regardless of the controversy, I think it'll be really cool to see how it performs, since it did come out on the Switch 1 closer to the tail end of the console. Now, one thing I actually did want to see from this is a use of gyro controls in this game, either using the mouse or just waving the Joy-Con around to resemble a wand to cast spells and everything. I think it'll be cool, but alas, we'll just have to wait. Of course, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 was dope. Not too surprised since 1 and 2 also came to the Switch 1, but it looks amazing, especially with the SpongeBob feature at the end of the trailer. And this again, there was a moment where I said,
we are excited to bring another familiar agent to the platform.
007. Wait. They gotta stop doing this to me. Is it actually 007? And I'm telling you, Nintendo just keeps granting me wishes as I say them, and I don't know how. Like, they're literally reading my mind. Regardless, I'm excited for this, and it's made by IO Interactive, so I'm sure it'll be good. Next, we saw Bravely Default Remaster on Switch 2, which is awesome. I mean, I love this game on 3DS. I still haven't gotten to try Bravely Default 2, but it's still cool to see, especially since I know a lot of people who really love this game, and it releases on the same day as the Switch 2. Yakuza is coming to Switch, which was an insane surprise. I haven't played these games, but the fact that it looks like it's able to run on the Switch 2 is a good sign. New Hyrule Warriors. This game took me for a loop. At first I thought this was Hyrule Warriors, and then I was like, no, it's a new open world Legend of Zelda game where you play as Zelda, and then it was back to Warriors. I mean, this trailer was awesome. Of course, with Age of Calamity being a prequel of Breath of the Wild, we needed one for Tears of the Kingdom, because that would be cool. And it looks like they're cooking with this one. Next, we saw Nintendo Switch Online. I don't think anything could have prepared me for this segment of the Direct. I'll just leave this here to show.
And now, some news about Nintendo Switch Online.
Oh, okay.
You can...
DS? GameCube? Any of those? DS would be really cool. I don't know if they'd ever do it. GameCube would also be pretty cool. If I could play Chibi Robo on my Switch 2, I may throw up.
Look at this. Nintendo Switch Online Plus Expansion Pack 2.
Don't do it to me, Nintendo. Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me.
Legend of Zelda game that
Wind Waker is this is crazy.
The Legend of Zelda.
Getting Wind Waker is actually, oh my god.
More titles will be added in the future.
Chip it. Oh my, wait, hold on. Now, I don't know if it was made apparent, but I'm very excited for this. I mean, we get Wind Waker, Sunshine, Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, which, by the way, my GameCube has stickers all over it with that game because I loved it so much. Original Super Mario Strikers, Luigi's Mansion, Pokemon Coliseum, and yes, Chibi Robo. I also saw like no one freaking out as much as I was that we were getting Chibi Robo. Like this was my entire childhood. It's just such a cute and quirky game. If you haven't played it, just wait for this and play it because it'll change your life. And speaking of changing lives, can we talk about the Deltarune announcement? I mean, what can I say about it? Nothing really. Like, I'm speechless. This was one I didn't think we'd see for a while now. But to announce during a Switch 2 Direct was just fully unexpected. And I mean, it looks like your regular Deltarune game, but the fact that it's here and it's coming is enough to build hype for it again. We saw Borderlands 4, Civ 7, a couple sports games, which I'm also interested to see if they can revive the WWE's reputation on the Switch. What seems to be a new multiplayer survival game, a new Gungeon, a 3D Gungeon in fact, and what seems to be a massively multiplayer online Astroneer game called Starseeker. Like, when I say they brought the big guns, they brought it. And a lot of these you can see using the mouse control features really well. So I'm excited to see more about that. And y'all, words cannot express how excited I was when I saw CD Projekt Red pop up on my screen. I mean, granted, I feel like I probably should have expected this after seeing the announcement for Elden Ring, but at the same time, who can have sane thoughts when Nintendo is throwing this much stuff at you? Just Cyberpunk 2077. It's a phenomenal game. Granted, it had bugs on release, but a lot of it seems to be fixed. It's super expansive, the story is amazing, and it's gonna release on the same day as the Switch 2, which is wild. All of this was just so much to take in, but now I get to take Cyberpunk 2077 on the go, thanks to the Switch 2. Then we saw Final Fantasy VII Remake. I think this was shown on the Switch 1 like years ago, but I could be gaslighting myself, I don't know. Regardless, it's coming, it looks amazing, and I'm super stoked because I've had this game on PlayStation and PC for a while. I just never actually picked it up. And for some reason, if a game comes to the Switch, I just instantly play it. So this is probably gonna be one of those times. I mean, I just get to pick it up and play it on the go. Who can ask for more? Next was your usual Nintendo Switch compilation, where they show a lot of third-party titles that maybe they've already shown in different directs or just have small gameplay trailers. Except it wasn't usual, was it? Because they decided to show Silksong in this compilation. No trailer, just a release date for 2025, and they just left us there saying, yeah, think about it. Like Nintendo, we've been thinking about it for years. I'm sure you've seen the clips of people screaming at this reveal. I was screaming. I've forgotten that we've seen just so much about this. Path of the Goddess, this looks pretty cool. What, you're just gonna freaking drop that on us? I thought it couldn't be done. I genuinely thought it couldn't be done. That is crazy. Nintendo, what are you doing to us? You're just gonna like casually drop Silksong like it's nothing? Like it's just in a montage, no less. If it got spoiled for you, I'm sorry, but this genuinely was just one of the craziest moments of the Direct. Not only that, they just casually dropped Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma. If y'all don't know, I love the Rune Factory series, and this game was one that I've been wanting to hear from for a while. Now, we kept getting small trailers here and there, but to show just a trailer and a release date in this Direct, I think even 15 seconds before I saw this, I literally said, okay, Grand Bazaar, what's next? I'm gonna see like Rune Factory, like the new Rune Factory game in here. Oh, Puyo Puyo Tetris. Okay. Dude. Same day as this. And then it happened. Also, there's a new game called Reanimal. It looks like it comes from the same people who made Little Nightmares. Looks really interesting. I'll definitely have to look more into it. And you know, speaking of info dumping in a compilation, Fortnite. No, I'm joking. Of course, I mean Professor Layton and the New World of Steam. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe we've only really seen like teasers for this game, but now we get an entire gameplay trailer and 2025 release date. I was shook. But you know, that's no surprise now. There's also a new FromSoft game coming out. I was honestly surprised to see this. I had thought it was Bloodborne, much like the rest of the population on Earth, but halfway through, it just didn't seem like it to me. And instead, it's called The Duskbloods. I mean, the trailer was by far one of the coolest in this Direct, easily. And not only that, it's an exclusive to the Switch, which I just found so funny. Now, before we get into Kirby Air Riders, I just want to leave this with you.
Next, please take a look at this.
Please take a look at this. Okay, what is it, like a new Kirby game? Bro, I was kidding. No. How do they keep doing this? How do they keep getting away? Yeah, it happened again. This announcement actually had me crying. It took me by so much shock that all of my emotions just came pouring out. Not only that, Sakurai is back and he's making a Kirby racing game. Like, that's literally my heaven right there. Oh my god. I'm about to actually cry. Masahiro Sakurai, please, Sakurai, no.
Kirby Air Ride.
Oh my god.
The Nintendo GameCube system.
The trailer looked gorgeous. There was no gameplay, which honestly I'm not surprised by, but I'm fine with it. But it just looks amazing. Sakurai, thank you. And now for the last announcement, which I will also cut back to. Oh, last trailer, really? Oh, that's it? What is it next? Like, yeah, Donkey Kong? Guys, I promise I didn't watch this prior. It looks like an open world Donkey Kong game. I see bananas. There's no way it's copium, right? I have been asking for a new Donkey Kong game. It's so long. Whoa! He looks different. And he's got pants on? And suspender? What? This is literally everything I could have asked for a new Donkey Kong game. I'm literally speechless. Like, July! It's July!
Walls, the ground, and just about everything as you demolish your way through.
Yes, it happened again. As I was watching this direct, I just kept saying, like, I promise I didn't see any of the leaks prior. I'm going into this fully blind. And all the times that Nintendo showed what I wanted, I was joking and being delusional. But turns out the delusions came true. I mean, what else can I really say about this that others haven't? I mean, it's an open world Donkey Kong game, something I've been begging for since Tropical Freeze's port to the Switch. And again, it seems like Nintendo is loving putting their IPs into 3D free roam games. I mean, Donkey Kong just looks entirely different. It kind of like a mixture of his old model and the Mario movies model mushed together. He has really fun and cute expressions. Seems like he can literally break just about anything in this world. There's also a weird rock thing on his shoulder. The enemies look cool. The world looks even cooler. Essentially, it just looks like what I had imagined an open world Donkey Kong game would look like. Not only that, we basically had no information about this in the last couple of years, and all of a sudden, a July release date. My body is in fact not ready. Well, that was all of it. Are you overwhelmed? Because I sure am. I mean, this is probably by far one of the most solid directs that I've ever watched from Nintendo. Again, it had everything I wanted and more. Nintendo is absolutely killing it, and they're going to continue killing it. This is Nintendo's year. Now, I know in recent news there have been a lot of controversy regarding prices and everything with the Switch 2, and quite honestly, I'm upset about it too. So I'll make a separate video discussing all of those if you want to hear about that, especially because this video is already long enough. I've been recording for like 45 minutes. All in all, I'm just beyond stoked to get this console. I mean, I was crying, screaming, I was speechless and everything, and I hope you're excited because I'm excited for you and I hope you're excited for me. If you stayed this long, thank you so much for watching and I appreciate you. I definitely want to make more Nintendo content in the future as it's one of my passions to talk about, and I mean, I'm sure you got the vibe from this video, but if not, I hope that's the vibe that I'm giving across, that I truly do love Nintendo. I love talking about it. I love the games, the system, just everything, regardless of how controversial they are, which they are. Okay, now I think it's time that I let both you and me go back to our normal lives, but this time with the knowledge that the Switch 2 is coming. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video. Peace out. Have a colorful day.